Before you start,
I got more
just
questions.
remind you on a little rec board policy that I still here in the books, Harlan.
What's that?
If you look into your rec board policy, because I went through this a few years ago, on the rates for subsidizing sponsorship, blah, blah, whatever you want.
Blah, blah.
You have a special, or you used to have one at least, for policy, if it was a provincial or a national championship, they automatically qualified. Treaty 8 did not qualify because they were not provincial.
That's right.
So, the Canadian championship thing never rose because you never had one, now you would, if that policy is still on your books. So, if it's still there, I'll just point that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure, and I thought I had the,
But of course, policies are living, breathing documents, they can always be changed.
That's right, yeah.
But that used to be there because I had that argument with Treaty 8 years ago, which reminded that policy was in place.
All right, we'll move on to item 13.1, the CAO's report and action list. Can I start with a motion? Councillor Stenhouse.
That council received the CAO's, Brian Martinson's report and action list for information.
All right, I'll turn it over to our CAO.
Just to, besides the two that I had, I let council know that we did, Alan and I did meet today with Todd Leatherdale and Greg Irvine from the Solicitor General's office. And these two investigators came up to do a review on our peace officers and how they're conducting themselves, if they're out of the scope of what they're allowed to do, and have reviewed their vehicles and everything. So it went really well. They were in and started their review probably around 9:30 this morning, and I sat down with them for a bit after and did a little bit of a brief, and they were out of here probably by 12:15. So it went well.
Are they sending a report?
They
after?
are.
Yeah.
They will send a report, and their findings. I said, "Are you guys municipal affairs in the SLI here?" Because I said, basically, within a month here, I've had the same report or whatever, and they said that they will send up the report. They were very very impressed with Erica, like in her answers, and because they each one interviewed one of the members, so on their protocol and what they do, so it went well. There's a couple little changes, but the last review that they had was back in 2007, so I had asked the question to both of them whether the review was going to be like municipal affairs, and within every 4 or 5 years, and they said they're strapped so bad because they do all the sheriffs, all the peace officers within Alberta, so, and there's only like 6 of them, so, and he said it's easy to do like 2 peace officers in a municipality, but if you got 25 sheriffs in an area, then it goes a little deeper, and there's a lot more questions, and so,
The speed limit, you got all of them.
so it went well. Again, I told you that we held a interim budget meeting with their interim treasurer, and that went really well. He basically, the 2 days before, sent up a list of questions that he had, and some of them were budget related, but I believe some of the questions that he had was on how we run the town, and he was basically getting a feel of the town itself, so went very good. And attended the light up, went very good. Good job, Chris. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, any questions or comments for our CEO? We'll start with Councillor Danaka.
I just have a question regarding the very first motion, 48916. That's from September 13th of 2016. Are we ever going to accomplish that?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Others? few. Just, I wanted to ask about any more word on our roof repairs out there. They were gonna come in December, was it?
Yes, the 15th, they told me that they were gonna be here.
Okay. Website, I'm wondering about that. I thought that was to be live already.
We're working on that today, actually.
Yeah, we're working on it. There's a lot more updates to go through before we ever launch it, but we're working on it.
Okay, updates to what?
Just new information, and they had just added a whole bunch of stuff, and when I was going through everything, half of it doesn't need to be there, some of it needs to be updated. They pulled off old stuff, and I have to update it all. But I called them today, and I'm writing up a list of everything for them to change, and I'm going to sit with Brian tomorrow to do some more, and Marion. So it shouldn't take too long with 3 of us working on it.
So is there a go live date anymore?
No, I'm hoping soon. Once we have all this fixed, then they said it should be able to launch in a week from our go date. So
Okay.
Another coming soon sign in February.
no, this one will get done soon.
It'll be here before we get to Tim Hortons open.
Okay, the other question was around broadband. I know they were trying to set up another broadband meeting for last week, but I haven't
I
heard
think
anything.
it's set up now for the 17th of December.
Okay, now is that for the committee, or is that, because I haven't heard anything about another.
You didn't receive them emails?
I
You
haven't
either?
received
Okay.
anything, so,
I'll ask Jennifer, and
okay.
I know they had set up meeting, and it was in conflict with Jordan, something he wouldn't be around the day that they had set it up, so they scheduled another meeting, and then somebody else couldn't make it, so I think they settled on the 17th, but I will check with her tomorrow
Okay.
and let you guys know.
So has there been any updates on the costs, what they had talked about and getting
No,
the
she's gonna
final?
bring that to the meeting.
Oh, she was gonna bring that to the meeting, okay. And I guess I also wanted to just ask, how was and I think I got your answer on the interim treasurer. I had it written down, but you're happy with how that's working out?
Yes.
Good, okay. Other questions, Councillor Gilroy?
Now, this may have been discussed last meeting when I wasn't here, but have they finished all the renovations for the gymnasium, like the dance or gymnastics group? I know I was talking about a week and a half ago, and there's still a lot of work to do, and you had said that Ricky and they were going to do more work on it when they got time. Has it been totally finished yet?
That was to put up the drywall. No, they haven't.
So it's not usable yet?
It's usable. They're not dancing on the ceiling. The drywall come off the ceiling. So.
But is it up to the standards that we need in there for them to safely do all the dancing, or not dancing, but the gymnastics and things like that?
Yes. The drywall has no effect to their dance area.
I saw pictures and they didn't seem that fully impressed yet that it was back to where it should be.
Okay. Other questions for our CEO? Nothing else? Okay. We had the motion by Councillor Stenhouse to receive his report for information. All those in favor? It is carried. Moving on to item 15.1, Community Planning Association of Alberta Conference. Get a motion on that? Go ahead, Councillor Courtly.
The council approved the attendance of Judy to attend the Community Planning Association of Alberta 2020 conference being held from April 27th to 29th, 2019 in Red Deer, Alberta.
Councillor Gilroy.
The only reason I'm actually going to speak to this one is because Mackenzie Municipal, they send people to this, and they have people on the committee to plan this. So, I mean, I get to hear, after every time we meet, I get to hear all the updates of what they talk about at the meetings. And unless you have someone who is really going to come back and actually put this into practice, a lot of the topics, when I heard the experts from Mackenzie talk about it, it did not sound like that an average person, a counselor, would really, not that we're average, that would really benefit from it. And I'm also wondering if we're going to be also tightening our belt, if we're going to be tightening our belts because of potential police funds and lack of taxes and things like that, should we be more selective in which ones of these we actually go to, as opposed to just going to ones because we think we're going to learn something and may or may not actually employ it. So a little caution on that one.
I'm just going to ask our CAO why he recommended the attendance of somebody to this committee. Do you know anything about this conference?
A little bit. The letter was directed to you, but they had asked for members of council or whatever, chief administrator's office, SDAB members, MPC members, planners, development officers to attend. So.
And it's in just
Calgary,
2020,
already,
not
yeah.
2019. Correct?
Yeah.
I'm
Councillor
not used to
Danaka.
2020 yet.
Who's the SADB and MCP members or MPC members that we have?
These two are
Those
the
two?
MPC, yeah. And Judy and Councillor Rose are SDAB.
Okay.
That's why I picked Judy.
Councillor Gilroy.
Anyway, the other part is the reports are received, and they gave a very thorough one just last Friday. That's the only reason I know it's good. In fact, I think I may actually have the package with me. Let other people talk. I just want to see if I have it with me, because if it is, I actually have a report on what they did the last one, which may provide something good for council to think about.
Yeah, I'm normally a big fan of conferences, or as you guys know, but I don't know much about this group and what they cover, so it's hard for me to say if it would be of any value. I really don't know, but Councillor Stenhouse, you had your hand up.
Yes, I do agree with you, Councillor Gilroy, that we are continuously doing strategic planning, doing revitalization of downtown. We're already working on this all the time, and I think this money would be better spent putting it towards our projects instead of with, again, the economy and the unemployment rate and everything else. I think we could find a better place to spend this money.
So I do have it.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us about the conference.
This is just a summary. They actually had a keynote speaker. The keynote speaker was Doug Griffiths, and he talked about changes in the transportation system, growth in ride sharing and its implications for housing in an urban design, changes in the nature of doing business, including the rise of e-commerce and implications for malls and traditional local retailing, growth of online education and its implications for traditional classroom learning, growth of social media and implications. And then there was a plenary, Housing for Health, which is a U of A professor, who talked about how how building design and community planning can promote active lifestyle and mental health, activating our humanity for a brighter community. some storytelling about engagement techniques from a very accomplished Métis lady. Sessions on rural community resilience through a modernized Municipal Government Act, the Land Use Bylaw, which is a redesigned tool led by planners, finding the sweet spot, which was all about how Edmonton changed secondary suites into affordable housing spaces. Believe it or not, lessons from FOST, Jusani Garrard. And that was area structure plans. And then they had a tour. That's basically what they did at the last one.
Okay, any other questions, comments on this one? I guess we had one recommendation of Judy. Are you even able to attend? Are you interested in attending?
Too far in the future. Honestly, it's too far in the future, and I'm not for spending that money on that conference.
Okay, so the motion won't be good at this time because you're not ready, willing to move, right? Is there anybody else that's really interested? We wanted to substitute a name one. I'm not seeing much interest there. Okay, so we have a motion for Judy to go. Nobody else is really interested. I see. Is Brian interested?
No, as I said, to go to one of these things, you really have to come back and actually put it into practice. It's not one of these knowledge-based things. You actually have to be able to come back and do something with it. And I'm not sure that we're either in the position or, and a lot of the stuff here, MMSA will give us for free because like within our package we already pay for it. So I don't think it's worth money.
Okay. Well, we have the motion. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's defeated.
See, you didn't even have the guts to sign up for that motion.
Councillor Stenhouse.
That council received the Community Planning Association of Alberta conference package for information.
Oh, I don't really need that now because we defeated this motion. Yeah. Yeah, so we're okay. We don't need to receive it for information. Yeah. Yeah, withdraw. Okay, moving on to item 60.
Question.
Oh, sorry.
So we just defeated the motion of sending someone.
Yes,
Okay. So yeah, I guess that means we're not going to send anybody.
yes.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay.
I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Let's move on to item 16, our written and verbal reports. We'll start with Councillor Daneka.
No report.
All right, that was quick. Councillor Gilroy.
Just a couple quick ones. High Prairie Community Health and Wellness Clinic, and they will be, there's a number of things that they will be looking at, possibly once again, when we get our new website up, they're looking at possibly asking for one page to put a directory for all of the hospital services. The hospital site managers asked that we consider putting, just attach it to our website so that anyone coming in can see all the hospital stuff that we can do. A number of things with the chamber, which includes the Christmas light up, representing them there. Meeting with the MLA, unofficially representing us at the library Christmas party, representing us at the donor fair at the hospital. Part of the watershed was helping out another community in the Slave Lake Forest Public Advisory, which was helping out a community north of Slave Lake that had all sorts of flooding, Martin Beach. And actually we were able to give them some advice that instead of some cheaper advice, because the advice they got was going to cost them $15 to $20 million. So we are able to give them some better advice, and hopefully that'll work. As well, a number of meetings to do with getting Mr. Martinson with his letter to Tyler Chandro and our and Bernie Yu, Dr. Bernie Yu, the motion. And I want to say thank you, because I heard it was put out today, both to the mayor and to Mr. Martinson for getting that out. It's an important one. And other meetings that I'm not going to waste your time with. But MMSA, one highlight I want to put in, actually two things. One, I asked them specifically, and they would be more than happy to, within our current project money that we pay them, so in other words, no extra money, to help develop our recreation plan. They can help with that. Master plan. So it would cost the rec department $0 to have them help you as a consultant on the master recreation plan, because we're already paying for them. Okay. Secondly, I did talk to Dr. Magna DeToy, though she's on maternity right now for a short time. She is still interested in a community garden, and one spot that was suggested we might consider is the old CRC land that we haven't sold yet. And if we decided to go with that, MMSA would also help design that for free. So they would take land use and do that for free. So there's a number of things that can be done. And once again, they will also help if part of the master plan is to put up some sort of survey and land use for redeveloping what's the park again? The JC Park. They will help with that, and that's also within the money we already pay them. So that's quite a few $1,000s in consultants' fees that if we decide to go forward and since we're already paying them, do it that way, we can get all the assistance within existing dollars. So, and I will move my long-winded verbal report for information.
Any questions for Councillor Gilroy? Seeing none? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Just had to.
Yeah.
No, there were no hockey players that I met with or truck drivers.
Really? Okay. What advice did you give to the Martin Beach?
The advice that was given to them is based upon some experience with international work. And that is that in certain places around the world, you can get, if you talk to the right people, and in this case, I was talking to the armed forces, they could actually potentially approach armed forces to use their, to get their problems rectified by using it as a training ground for engineers, so that our engineers can practice here in Canada before they go around the world. And that has been done in other parts of the world where when projects are done, some nations actually use their army engineers to actually practice in their homeland first before they go into third world countries or whatever to do their work. So it was a way that their REIT was really extremely happy to take that consideration.
And to
Go ahead.
Just out by Creston, going up towards White Stag Leap Provincial Park, there's a campground that's there that has a bridge, and the bridge is spectacular considering it's in the middle of nowhere, that our Army engineers built when they came back from the Second World War. And then the additions to that bridge, when it got flooded out or slide or something, the Korean vets came back and the Army engineers went in and built the bridge. Then the U.S. Army engineers came in and assisted to make the final draft that's there now. It's been sitting there since 1960 something, and it's a beautiful, beautiful bridge that's designed to walk across, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's quite spectacular to see some of the interagencies and some of the stuff that you can get the Army engineers to do. Pretty neat.
All right, we had Councillor Gilroy moved his report for information. All those in favor? Carried. Councillor Long?
Nothing, Doc.
Okay, yeah. For myself, attended the Heart River Housing meeting, and nothing much to report from that one other than they are going ahead and doing the business plan for the development of a new of the new site here. That's sort of the biggest thing that came out of that meeting. So that's proceeding, moving ahead. We've got attended the Light Up, had a meeting with concerned citizen, was on the radio this morning to promote the food bank, was in there, and also I forgot the town's Christmas party too, which was good. Me and Councillor Stenhouse, reminds me, don't ever gamble with Councillor Stenhouse if any of you are looking at doing that. So yeah, that was basically it. The other thing one of the things I wanted to ask, so everyone gets it, is what's the deadline for our December expense claims? Yeah, I just want to make sure that we get them in and get them signed before.
Can you take a note? We ask me to send them all of the email tomorrow.
Yeah, just so that we know with this month being unique, so that we know and have to come in and sign those or get them in. Okay. Anything on my report? Any questions on that? Councillor Long?
Just one more thing to add in for your food bank and the radio show tomorrow night from 5 to 7. Kim Dumont and Santa are going to be on the radio promoting this food bank. So just
okay.
for all the little kids out there watching this show, which I know they love.
Yeah. Good, yeah. Oh, excellent. Okay, I move my report for information. All those in favor? It is carried. Councillor Courtley.
You got really nothing to report.
No Councillor Rose and Councillor Stenhouse.
I do have a report. I should have got it in writing, but on November 27th to the 29th, I attended the FCSS conference. So I've been sitting on the FCSS board for the last 2 years. Yes. And I've just been going with the flow because I'm going because I don't know really what's happening. So I attended this conference, and boy, do I have a better understanding of FCSS. I'm hoping I'm not the only one here, but I'm going to enlighten you on a few things that I've learned. That it's only in Alberta. FCSS is Alberta's the only province that has it. And you know how we asked the treasurer, like, could we pull this out of FCSS funds? And it was like, oh, it has to be more preventative in nature. Now I understand what this preventative in nature is. And just to tell you about how this preventative works is, it's a lot cheaper to do preventative measure than until somebody gets into intervention. Because once you're in intervention, then there's a lot of money spent there and they're stuck there. And just for an example, like you can take $1,000 and treat, let's say, 10 people in preventative, but once they get into that slippery slope and they're in that position where they need help, they're now into intervention, and that $1,000 only treats like one person. So I really have, so now when we have questions about, will FCSS cover that? Hopefully I'll be the one that can answer that, because actually it was a really good conference for me. Like I said, I sat on the board for 2 years. I didn't really understand what was going on. I was just reporting back to you guys, but now I have a better understanding of it. So that's about all I have to report for my verbal report. Any questions? Go ahead. I can answer them.
I love it.
It is, like I said, I've been on that board for 2 years, and it's just like I just been listening how they've been spending our money, but now I have a better understanding.
Councillor Courtley.
So your ideal for
for going to conferences on the boards you sit on. How is that now?
Well, see, I'm the one who is against going to conferences, but this one was holding FCS 101, so you get to understand how it is. And like any other conference, oh, I guess that brings up another issue here. Like any other conference, yes, it was an FCSS conference, but you end up talking about other things that are going on in your community. So now that you've gone there, so we're sitting around a table, because there's people from all over Alberta there, and one lady says, so where are you from? I'm not in this conversation. She says, Sunrise County, Northern Sunrise County. Where's that? Peace River. Oh. Another lady says, and where are you from? Now, I can't remember the county name, but she gave a county name. She said, yeah, I don't know, where's that? Oh, Vermilion. So this raises another issue on our visitor information. People don't know counties.
No.
They don't. They know a town. And it's the same thing with me. I was the only one from the town. The county sent people there. And where are you from? Big Lakes County. High Prairie. People associate with town. So our visitor information, when we're referring to the county, I don't have faith in it that it will work. You have to promote your town because, like I said, they're sitting around the table and they're addressing themselves as counties, and nobody knows counties.
Just a follow-up to Councillor Courtney's question. If you were to go to this same FCSS conference year after year after year, do you think you'd get as much out of it as you did this time?
See, it's kind of like that AUMA. There's different training sessions also. Like it wasn't like the one big thing I got out of it was the FCSS.
He's going to say the same thing for rec department. You know that.
I know, but there's training sessions that go on. Like there's 4 a day that you go to, and some are not related to FCSS, but it makes you aware of other issues. So it's really hard. Would I go again? I don't know, because for me it was so. If I would went as soon as I was elected, it would have been a waste of my time because I really didn't understand what was going on. This was the perfect time slot in my on town council to go to this conference.
Okay. Do you move your report for information?
I would like to move my report for information.
All those in favor? It is carried. Our agenda is complete, so our meeting is adjourned.